Tibial plateau fracture people that have trouble walking down stairs due to the pain in their knee, this video is for you. I've got two amazing exercises that will help exactly with that, and a bonus at the end where there's going to be a very light exercise that will help with that pinch in the middle of your knee, and also a little chiropractic swing, if you will, that will help adjust your patella to get your knee moving smoother. Now, as many of you might not know, this was my knee. I had the same injury, and this was me 6 weeks and 2 days later dancing salsa. However, it is not just me where this program works. I also have Melissa, who was told she couldn't walk for 3 months. I don't know why, but then her doctor, after her results, changed his mind and said she was able to start walking completely weight bearing, trying stairs 8.5, 9 weeks later. Or Daniel, another client of mine, that actually tore his meniscus on top, and we had to wait an extra 2 months before he could walk due to the meniscus, and he's already back training basically to get back to fighting, which was his hobby. So I have got this YouTube channel for everyone to learn. However, I also have a 49 euro mini course, which is like $55, and a monthly coaching program where you have daily access to me and weekly coaching calls. So if that sounds like something for you, check the links in the bio. And if not, then obviously you got my YouTube channel here where everything is completely free. I've got a Facebook group where I support people weekly, and also Instagram, Tibial Plateau Fracture Solution. So the solution, no pun intended, is here for you, but you need to put the work in. How many clients of mine start with physical therapy 6 weeks later? That is too late. Your knee is gonna be like a rock. You need to do something sooner, and that's what these videos are for. So make sure to stay tuned and don't miss the bonus at the end. All right, so the first exercise is going to be like the knees over toes squat. So that means I'm having a nice controlled rhythm as if I was doing any other exercise. So lat pull down in the gym, push up, squat. We would go 1, 2, and I'm going over this because the Pachanga version is going to be a complete opposite. So focus really on this one with just bringing your knees forward and back, forward and back. If we went like all the way down and came all the way back up, it's actually called a sissy squat. So this is actually a very famous strength and conditioning exercise to strengthen the knees regardless. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna slowly start going into this exercise because we also might feel it a little bit in the back of our leg because our calf and our soleus for sure are gonna be weakened from the surgery and just for the time that we are not allowed to weight bear. So this is one of my favorite exercises to do in the morning when I'm like making my coffee on my stove. I have one of those European mocha things, so it takes 3, 4, 5 minutes, and I just love to do this in the morning to just kind of warm up really both knees, because at the end of the day we use our knees all day and we're not getting any younger, so taking care of both of them is not a bad idea. And this exercise in the strength and conditioning world is famous for knee health, so this is fantastic for us. Now the way I'm going to change it right now is I'm going to add a little bit of momentum into it, and I call it the Pachanga version because I'm a salsa dancer, and one of the steps we often do in many modifications of it is something known as Pachanga. So I can show a little bit of it here, but now I want to actually kind of have, let's say, like a rhythm or a little bit of a bounce. So I come forward, back, where before I had a nice controlled motion. Now I kind of want to tuck my hips under and back. So I'm allowing my knees to bounce forward and also my knees to kind of bounce back. This is great because it's going to add a little bit of speed and momentum into our movement, which is important because that's how we move in life, but also because if I wanted to adjust your fibula, which is the bone right there, I would do exactly that. I would get my hand behind your leg and I would move it just like this. So you can start doing the same thing on your own. You might actually even feel that you get a little bit of an adjustment or pop in your fibula, which is great because that bone is supposed to basically spin when we're moving. It needs to be able to move, the bone itself, the joint, because that's how we move. If it's not moving, you're not moving optimally. So by you doing something like this, if you don't adjust it, which is fine, you can do the steps right before it, which is known as a mobilization. So you can literally get not only your fibula, but in this case also your patella and your knee joint to mobilize itself in the capsule, in the joint, while getting more blood flow, breaking up some of the scar tissue, and building your confidence that you're able to move with a little bit of rhythm and also speed and not have any pain. Now, if you do have some pain, you can easily grab your crutches, do it with the assistance of your crutches. You can lean against something like this, do the same thing. It shouldn't be maybe a little bit uncomfortable because you broke your knee, but it shouldn't be so extremely painful that you can't do it. This is a great way to warm up the knees and also get yourself ready to go in that stepping position when you're coming downstairs where the broken leg is in the back. The second exercise is going to be a little bit step up of this modification for people that are already walking downstairs and need to train that position. All right, so exercise number 2, you're going to get your broken leg in back and you're going to get into like a split squat position. Now a split squat is something like this. This is not what I want you doing yet. This is also a great exercise, but this is not what we're doing. This is probably too advanced. So what I want you to do is get in the same position. In this case, my heel is down a little bit. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the worst split squat ever, which is okay, because if we're doing bad technique on purpose, it's not necessarily bad technique. And in this case, it's the correct technique. So what I'm gonna do, broken leg in the back, I'm just gonna bend from my back leg. So I don't want to just do it from my upper body. I want the movement to come from my knee. So the only reason my body is going back is because my knee is bending. So I'm not moving my body back without moving my knee. That's also better than smoking crack on the couch, of course. But we need the bend in the knee to bring our body back, because as we go downstairs, this is the mechanics of the knee, so to speak. And this is the painful part, because this is a very interesting or odd position for the knee to be weight bearing, so to speak. So before we had our injury, we probably never really noticed anything. But even me just hanging out in this position and speaking with you, I also feel it in my calf soleus area. So sometimes when my leg is quite tired and I'm dancing and maybe doing actually the Pachanga, because we have a dance move where we can kind of move like this, which is also another Pachanga step. So today's like the salsa related knee rehab day. But this is just fantastic because this is a great way to get you doing this split squat, so to speak, where we can really focus on those back leg muscles and also the knee in this unique position. Like I said, when you're walking downstairs, this is the position that your leg is going to be in. So being able to practice these positions in a controlled environment is fantastic, because then you're able to go downstairs without pain. All right, so extra credit part 1, I've taken my mic off so I don't scream into it, is you probably already see, I'm gonna look at my second camera there, exactly, I'm taking my foot here. So I'm not trying to straighten my knee, so to speak. I'm trying to take my foot, kick, like softly press that into the ground. Maybe that's a better way to say it. And from that, my knee ends up straightening regardless. From here, I can kind of lie in different positions and get different parts of my foot going into the, oh man, this feels so good, just like this today. This is such a nice way to really warm up that patellar tendon and get that knee moving correct. Now, the reason I really like doing it like this, or also in my bed in the morning, oh man, this really feels good actually, even as I'm doing it now, is because if I do it the other way, which is also a fantastic exercise, where let's say I do a straight leg, a quad set, we say like this, or I do like a straight leg raise where I would lean down and come up a little bit, that is also okay. The problem is, or the lack, what is missing is my foot, as it's moving right here, there's no resistance against it. Where when I'm lying on my stomach like this, the resistance from the floor gets like a dual contraction of not only my anterior tibialis, this muscle here, not only my quadricep, but also the front fascial line that we have going across that really connects the entire leg together. So I made this one up in my bed just in the morning when I had a bit of a weird pinch in my knee, and the pinch was automatically gone. And then funny enough, when I was making my coffee, the next part I'm going to show you, I just kind of did this little whip with my leg and pop, it felt amazing after. So adjusting your neck, adjusting your shoulders, adjusting your back, which chiropractors do, which maybe you do on your own, is fine. We can do the same thing for the knee. And literally the chiropractor can do the same thing for the fibula of your knee, and also your kneecap. So if he's able to do it, I can teach you how to do it, and then you can do it on your own, because it works as a great adjustment, and it also works as a great mobilization of the joint, which is a few stages before the adjustment occurs. The second piece of the extra credit, now that we've done that soccer kick into the ground or into the bed, if you will, what I want you to do now is you can either do it freestanding or you can hold on to something, have your crutches, but I want you just to kind of kick your knee out towards the inside. So imagine, I probably should hold on to something. See, can you still hear? Good. If I was just kind of kicking my leg out like this, and you can see I'm just allowing it to whip out from like kind of like an inside circle, if you will, because I'm also then going to do it on the outside. So imagine if you had something on your shoe, if you will, and you just wanted to kind of flick that off your shoe. What this is going to do is it's going to really release everything in your knee, because in order to get that whip motion, you have to be very relaxed, which is also fantastic for you to practice with your nervous system because you've been muscle guarding for so long. But this is also very cool because as I go on the inside like this, not only if I have a medial plica or if I have something with my patella or some scar tissue, that might be preventing my tracking of my knee from being optimal. So doing something like this can help kind of get that adjustment, kind of reset the nervous system, get your patella, your knee bone, your kneecap, moving correctly, Kniescheibe, we say in German. Or if you kind of do it to the side like this, most likely your IT band is also a little bit annoyed, which crosses over the lateral side of your knee. I don't want to get too anatomical here. And often, due to the fact that we weren't walking for like 6 weeks or more, this muscle has also gotten a little bit irritated and probably shortened. So I love to do this during the day, and I still 4 years later after my fracture, because I'm doing so much dancing, so much CrossFit, so much high rock, so much running, so much this, so much that, I still often do this, get a nice little adjustment in my knee, and then there is absolutely no pinching when I completely hyperextend my knee, just as if there is in the other leg that I never broke. So it is one of my favorite things to do. I love to warm up in the morning, either in bed or like on the floor with that exercise I just previously showed you. And then when I'm done with that, just do something, oh, it just popped right there. Something like that with my knee or on the other side also. And you don't have to do those exercises before you do something like this. You can just do this whenever. And if it kind of feels good, I hit the button on my standing desk. If it kind of feels good when you do that, just do it multiple times. It might feel a bit weird, but if it doesn't hurt, it's not bad for you. That's the way the body works. If you punch yourself in the face, it hurts because you're not supposed to do that. So you don't do that. Same thing if you run into a wall or get hit by a car. Those are not fun experiences. That's why we don't do it. So if you're doing something like this and it feels a little bit odd, but it still kind of feels good, well, that's most likely your body telling you it's okay. As always, thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I really hope these exercises helped. Please check out the programs below, from the €49 or like $53 mini course, Facebook group, YouTube channel, and also my private coaching, private coaching, but also private membership, where you get coaching calls every single week and a What's Up community where we are daily active. I can't stress this enough. You've got 2 knees and you really need to take care of them, especially the one that you just broke, because we need to get the flexion and the movement back, because I can promise you it's not going to come back on its own.